Well, Matt, first of all, just congratulations, and now being a team that's been in the NCAA tournament 3 out of the last 4 years, you got to feel like you're fully established as a soccer program in this country.
Well, we felt for a few years we've been established and belong in this type of scenario in terms of the tournament. And last year, we dealt with a lot of things off the field in terms of injuries and stuff and didn't say too much about it. In fact, we've dealt with some this year too, but, ours is a squad mentality, and so I'm delighted that our squad is finally getting healthy and gets another chance in terms of the tournament. But 3 out of 4 years, I think that speaks to our staff, I think that speaks to our institution, and most importantly, our student athletes.
You never know what gets said in the selection room, but you had some numbers going in that maybe weren't favorable to us. But in the end, you have to feel like the committee took the team that belonged in the tournament based on its performance on the field.
Well, I think any team that's in the tournament is, breathing a sigh of relief, and every team that's, thought they should be in, you feel for those, because it's a tough assignment for anybody. To pick 64 teams this year, I think, was incredibly difficult. Across the board, women's soccer, collegiate-wise, the standard is exceptional, whether you go 1 through 64 or 64 through, 200-300. So it's an incredibly difficult job for those people in that room, but obviously we're delighted that they recognize the body of work that we had, and we get to fight and live to fight another day.
Talk about your senior class, now the most successful in Cougar soccer history. I know it's a small class, but it's been a very important one to you.
Those are the people that I've been thinking about all morning. Just the way they've gone about this year. I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of who they are in terms of individuals first and foremost. They're great character people. They do their due diligence in the classroom, and they've been nothing but a positive role model for all those, whether it be previous teams or this team. And so for them to get this highlight moment, because they have lived in the shadows of others, but for them to get this moment, and obviously for them a third NCAA appearance speaks to the magnitude of their contribution to our program. So it's a proud moment for them, and I couldn't be prouder of them.
You'll get Kentucky out of the SEC on the road. I'm sure it'll be a tough environment, but the good thing is your team is battle-tested in tough environments all season long.
Well, Kentucky's had an exceptional year, as anybody would know, and the SEC has had a great year as a whole, and it's competitive just like the Pac-12. Have we been road warriors? Yes, we have. I mean, if you look at tournament teams, we've been on the road to Portland, we've been on the road to Virginia, so it's going to be nothing new in terms of that, but we obviously won't take Kentucky lightly. They're deserving to be in the tournament along with ourselves, and it makes for a great collegiate women's soccer game again. So we're excited for the opportunity, and I'm sure they are too, so we look forward to the challenge.
And there's a couple of things that we've been talking about all year. This is tremendous not only for your seniors, but the freshmen who get to taste this in their first year. And then also maybe touch on how much the home crowd throughout, we haven't been home in a while, but how much the home crowd throughout the season helped this squad.
Well, again, the people behind the scenes at Washington State did an exceptional job of getting the people there in the first place, so I'd like to acknowledge those people. In terms of the crowd, it was fantastic. The fact that we're averaging over 800 people and we're still playing at 3 o'clock on a Friday because we have no lights and so on and so forth, it just speaks to how the community's embraced this. So this is as much for them as anybody else. In terms of where that leads us to now, obviously we're excited, but looking forward to the challenge of the tournament.
We're just talking about your freshmen and how special it is for them to be in the tournament in their first season as Cougars.
Well, I think our freshmen have obviously been big contributors to the team this year, and again, I think they would be the first to applaud every returner here. They've been welcomed. The returners have kind of led the way for them to show them how we do things around here, and the freshmen have embraced everything. They're a big part of who we are, now and going forward. So for them to get this acknowledgement speaks to the potential that they have. They still got to fulfill that potential, obviously, but every day they contribute. So I'm excited for them. I'm also excited for the group that didn't go last year. Our program for 2 years, had gone to the NCAA tournament, and for 6-7 it had winning seasons, and last year was a blip on that, obviously. And so the fact that we're collectively together again and back on track with a third NCAA appearance in 4 years, I think that speaks to where we're at.